Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Correct Views. Sam, I be the Gangi, doing political commentary for the media speaks. It's a sad, sad day for those of you that like art, for those of you that like true comedy, like not just you managed to drop your pants and something was humorous, but true comedy. Look at the lower third. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Gene Wilder is no longer with us. And I wasn't going to start the show with something so grim, but I mean, Blazing Saddles. When you think about what the man has done, I decided I'm not going to go ahead and do his whole eulogy today. I will be doing that Saturday on the Media Speaks. Sunday on the Media Speak. We've changed that. Speaks, I will be sending off Mr. Gene Wilder properly. In the meantime, suffice to say, you heard some passing time at the beginning of the broadcast. That's my band. And on a song called Rage, we have a sample. For safety's sake, don't humiliate him. And, well, that was Gene Wilder. Awful that the man is no longer with us. Epic fail. And Gene will be sent off properly, I assure you. On a Sunday, I plan to do his full eulogy. In the meantime, rest in peace, Mr. Wilder. You were one of the greats. All right, guys, going on to what you've tuned in for here. This is from InfoWars. I'm leading with this because it's the most damaging. It's the one that I think has been greatly underreported because people have heard about all kinds of things in the news. And yet, when something really matters, and when something needs to take center stage, a lot of times I don't know where people's heads are. I don't understand where people's priorities are. And I don't understand how they could find, the NASDAQ important, but not this. Kit Daniels report. U.S. nukes, U.S. moving nukes closer to the Ukraine. Now, for those of you that don't know, I could pretty much characterize this in a nutshell for you. Vladimir Putin is a less than good man who, on one hand, is an Orthodox Christian, which is something that I support, and on the other hand, is harassing people for. We look at the way he treated gay people during the Olympics. Now we talk a lot here. We're gonna get to it in the Dundee of the day on how this PC nonsense is garbage. If someone's gay, they're gay. We're gonna make jokes about it. Make jokes about it. My last name is DeGangi. There's Sicilian, there's Italian. Make meatball jokes. I don't care. I'm tired of living in that world. However, I guess a lot of people aren't. So, I mean, you've got people like Putin out there running roughshod over people's right to be a pain, I guess. Um, you've got the way he handled Georgia, which was a miserable way to handle Georgia. However, he's elected by his people. He's not committing any acts of genocide. He's not hurting anybody. Vladimir Putin needs to be left alone, but that's not what's happening because other evil men, far more evil, like Obama and NATO, are moving in. And what happened was at the end of the 80s, at the end of the Cold War, they had an agreement, largely worked out by Reagan. And trust me, Obama is no Reagan. That one of the caveats to the Cold War ending, the Cold War being, of course, when America and Russia had all their nukes pointed at each other. The way that ended was America and NATO agreed not to post weapons of mass destruction on the border of the new Russia, the new the new country that was emerging as the USSR fell apart. Well, NATO and America have lied, and they've been doing just that to Russia, and they've been provoking an already not good man. Why? Because our nation is led by a lot of really not good men. That's why. The U.S. is reportedly moving nukes from Turkey to Romania amid rising tensions in Ukraine, and after a recent report warned that ISIS could steal the nukes in Turkey. At least 50 tactical nukes are stored at Incirlik, it looks like Air Base, about 70 miles from the Syrian border, and that's according to Euractiv. The U.S. is moving at least 20 of them to Romania, which shares border with the Ukraine. Now, the reason you can see that both sides on this are wrong is that Russia needs to be leaving the Ukraine alone. The Ukraine is not part of the Soviet Union anymore, and he needs to get that in his head. I know he's ex KGB. I know he's from a time when the Cold War existed, but he needs to get out of that mindset or he's going to trigger World War III. On the West's side, Obama needs to realize, as does NATO, that and this is why I like Trump in this aspect so very much, is that Trump wants to get us out of these kind of entanglements. He wants to greatly lessen our role in NATO. And this is why. Because NATO needs to realize you can't park nuclear weapons on someone's border and expect them not to be angry about it. Would you, listening to this, be happy if America put nuclear weapons on, excuse me, if Russia put nuclear weapons on the Mexican border? Would that make you happy? Probably not. So you can see again. I'm not a Putin fan, never have been, but you can see that he has a point there. It doesn't mean that everything he's saying is without reason. U.S. officials have denied the claim, but recent developments reveal this credibility to the reported nuke transfer. For one thing, Turkey is now considering military ties with Russia due to its deteriorating relationship with NATO. This was after Russia played a role in very likely, we'll say, shooting down a Turkish. Turkey shot down a Russian airliner. It seems to us that NATO members behave in an evasive fashion on issues such as the exchange of technology and joint investments. In other words, Turkey wants another little piece of the pie of the ripoff that John Kerry managed to bring us home with Iran and their new deal. The Pentagon is claiming that 40,000 Russian troops are massing on Russia's border with the Ukraine, including armored vehicles, tanks, and fighter jets. All right, now, of course, if we had a president, I mean, if we had a good president, maybe not even as good as Reagan, although he was pretty good at this. If we had a good president, somebody would deal with this and talk about the ramifications of what they're doing and what Russia is doing in terms of harming global trade and what America is doing in the West in terms of the same thing. No, we don't have that. We have one of the worst leaders in American history at a time when we need diplomacy. And again, this is where Trump is right. I'm sorry, Trump is right. And so is Gary Johnson on this particular matter. America's got no business here. This is not our country. So, I mean, it just becomes so unbelievably cumbersome because somehow people miss the painfully obvious here. The nukes stored in Turkey are at risk of being stolen by ISIS, according to a report by the Stimson Center, and that is also true. But again, remember, ISIS rose because Bush brought us in where we shouldn't have been. NATO rose because Obama and Hillary Clinton increased the troops there before pulling them out in the worst way possible, and funded people that turned their back on America and became ISIS. Okay, so they created this very problem with bad leadership. From a security point of view, it's a roll of the dice to continue to have approximately 50 of America's nuclear weapons stationed at the Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. Reported co-author it's like Lace Haley. There are significant safeguards in place, but safeguards are just that. They don't eliminate the risk. In the event of a coup, we can say for certain that they would be able to maintain control. Now, this is what happens when you get foreign entanglements. This is what happens when you build alliances with countries that drag you into every little pissant problem that they have. Every time they have a problem, what you end up with is this sort of thing. You end up with your country and your people roped into something that doesn't concern you at all. And the next thing you know, countries are pointing nuclear weapons at each other. And it's that simple, friends. Moving on, a weekly standard. Obamacare website no longer addresses the "you can keep your doctor" statement. For those of you with very short memories, we'll go over it. Mr. Obama said, and I quote, "If you like your insurance, you'll be able to keep it under Obamacare." The lie that we were sold, remember? Well, guess what? It was a lie. It was just that. You couldn't keep your own doctor, as a matter of fact. You couldn't count on anything. Your insurance rates went through the roof. It cost you more than ever. Some people are saying, oh, but I got free care. You got free care because everybody else's care went through the roof. Because people like me that were self sufficient before and could afford their insurance and medical bills. I know I've told the story repeatedly where I cut the tip of his finger off, had to have it sewn on, cost about a grand. Had vertigo once. I made a whole video on it. Look up the correct use vertigo. Um, Thankfully, it never returned. But it cost me a grand that to make sure it wasn't MS, brain aneurysm, blah, 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 blah. So Obamacare has eviscerated healthcare. It has made it so that the average person can no longer afford healthcare at all. You get insurance to keep the government happy, but the copays are so high that you would never be able to afford to use it, which is another issue that Trump is right about. Well, of course, most people lost their doctor under Obamacare, and now the site used to say that you might be able to keep it. Now it doesn't even address it. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. That was President Barack Obama's signature catchphrase. It says, and he used it to sell the Affordable Care Act to the American people. Now, Obama's flagship website, healthcare.gov, no longer even addresses the issue. Oh, Mr. Obama, don't talk about it, it'll go away. Ironically, the section in question was the first public, if indirect, admission by the Obama administration that the president's promise was less than a guarantee. As the Weekly Standard first reported in July of 2013, the website told consumers that they may be able to keep their current doctor. Well, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Became you may, as you can see there, be able to keep your doctor. In contrast to the president's unequivocal statement, and this was what this lying bastard said, quote, here is the guarantee that I've made. If you have insurance that you like, then you will be able to keep that insurance. If you've got a doctor that you like, you will be able to keep your doctor. Guess what? He lied. The original website contained a section called Can I Keep My Own Doctor, which was later revised on how to keep your doctor. A version of the website as it wasn't last October, right there, proving it. Just before open enrollment began last year, however, the section was dropped. Now the same link takes users to a section that says how to pick your health insurance plan. In other words, just cipher it down the memory hole and nobody will remember. Let me tell you what, Mr. Obama. People are remembering. Miss Clinton, we're remembering. And we're voting for Trump. And those of us that aren't voting for Trump are probably voting for Gary Johnson if we're smart. Jill Stein will just make it worse. The economy will die under her. But we're voting Trump. We're voting Johnson. We're voting people that are going to stop these sorts of things. And if you would like to help this show, as you can see, there's lights and everything back. I had no electricity for a while. If you would like to help this show, that's right, no electricity. I said it for almost 2 months. Here's how you can help the show. I'm autographing these. Christelle will be too. $5 a piece for 2 for $7. Order these. I'll make sure you get them autographed, and it's that simple. Every penny you give us goes towards a better show, and it leads to things like being able to afford your electric bill in your studio. Informationliberation.com. Video shows African flash mob restaurant at a restaurant, and it says thanks to the commentator's shortest straw for pointing this out and finding the original video. It's in Italy, and it's actually from the Pretoria in South Africa. The YouTube actually removed the video with the message I've never seen before. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on spam, deceptive practices, and scams. In other words, they took it down so that you couldn't see what happened. Let's go ahead and play this video right here. And while it plays, let me remind you that people say, why would we need more than 10 bullets? Let me tell you why you need more than 10 bullets. Because flash mobs like you're seeing here on Crime Watch are happening to people's homes. Look at that. He's taking a hammer and just destroying and stealing and raping, or not raping yet, pillaging the store. Look at this. Now, you mean to tell me you don't need more than 10 bullets? If that comes to your house, you got an army of human beings like that swarming your house, swarming your store. You mean to tell me these people right here couldn't use more than 10 bullets? Look at this. Scan ahead. Look. Look. Clean the place dry in a minute and 47 seconds. Okay? This is why you're going to need more than 10 bullets, friends. This is why. Multiple similar flash mobs have gone down in the US. Right here. Look. There it is. You mean to tell me the store owner doesn't need more than 10 bullets? I see more than 10 people that need to be taken down for stealing here. That's what I see. And here we see more. Why do we need more than 10 bullets, Sam? Why? Why would anybody need more than 10 bullets? Look at this. Right in front of you. That's why. That's why you need more than 10 bullets. Here you go. They're marauding the store, stealing from the store. They do this to people's houses. Here we are with the similar humans acting like animals, degenerates here in this store, stealing, running through, raving their hands in the air. We can get what ours, yo. We can get what ours. Look, I'm sorry, you need more than 10 bullets to deal with that. Another one, hoodie flash mob, in a mall, just taking whatever they want, and they're going to be doing this to houses. They're doing it to people's stores. Okay, so don't tell me that we don't need more than 10 bullets. When you've got more than 10 people stealing everything in sight, you need more than 10 bullets. They're Barney Fife. Absolute mind-blowing stupidity in the country that I live in. Friends, here you have the Seacrest Motel before we go on. And we're going to be going on with some stories you're not going to want to miss. That beautiful place right there is the Seacrest Motel. You can see behind it, that's Cedar Point. That's one of the best amusement parks in the world. It's the roller coaster capital of the world. Look it up. Second biggest roller coaster in the world, most fun roller coaster in the world, Top Thrill Dragster. Why? Because it lap harnesses you, not shoulder harnesses you. For those that like coasters. For those of you that like cozy ass hotel rooms after your coasters, you're going to want to go here at the Seacrest Motel. And when you tell them at the Seacrest, at check-in, and when you call, say, hey, I'm a fan of the correct views. The guy with the long hair, the keyboard tattoo on his arm, I'm a fan of his. Do I get a discount for listening? And guess what? You're going to find out you do. If you're going to the races this summer, there's still time. Summer's not over yet, but it's dwindling quick. We got mere days. Christelle's birthday is tomorrow. It's all fading away. Still time to go there. Still time to stay at the Seacrest. And you're going to be spending, we've shown it on the search engines here, hundreds of dollars less. I showed you a search engine, Hotel Breakers, $230. Seacrest Motel was like, what, 75, 80? And you're going to get for more of a discount when you mention me. So do it. Friends, this is government overreach here. The Mirror, sex games, man drinking a shot off of a girl's crotch, and teens inhaling laughing gas. Now cops cracked down. Teens would be usually over the age of 18. Let me tell you what this is. This is government overreach. Now, I'm a DJ. I play it everywhere. And that includes adult-oriented themed parties. Yes, I've seen things like this, believe it or not. And guess what? I'm still alive. Guess what? Didn't kill me. It is up to adults what kind of sexual behavior they choose to engage in or choose not to engage in. I'm not going to say that everything I've ever done would make people particularly happy. But you know what? Wait, it's none of their damn business. It's up to grown adults what they do. If somebody decides that they're gay, then they're gay. If someone decides they want to sleep with more than one person, then they're sleep with more than one person. If someone is not being raped or harmed, it's none of the government's business. But we're seeing it over and over again in the West. The government trying to decide how you should live and invading your bedroom. The government in your bedroom, as Gary Johnson says. Avia Napa mayhem is described as one of the messiest and craziest nights out for holiday makers at the Cypress Resort. And now, shocking footage has revealed explicit explicit activities partaken by boozy tourists, like stripping naked and playing sex games in nightclubs. Let me tell you what, sex games in nightclubs happen all over the world. Look up swingers clubs. There's people having sex in clubs that they pay to be a membership to, pay for a membership to, and you know what? Who cares? Who cares? It's none of your business if your neighbor's a swinger. You don't want to be a swinger, then don't be a swinger. Okay, if someone's raping you, I'm going to stick up for you. But if someone is choosing to do something of their own accord, then shut the hell up. It's none of your business. This coming from Cyprus. Cyprus just had a bail-in a couple of years ago. You don't know what that is? It's when you put your money in a bank, which you should never do. I mean, in full disclosure, I have a bank account so that I can cash checks because the job I had was ruined for me. So now I get checks from a number of places, working different jobs. So I got a bank account so I could cut down on convenience store fees. Do you think I leave my money in a bank? Look up how to live without banks. I tell you how to do it. So anyway, people foolishly trusted the banks, which you know here I've told you repeatedly not to do. If you do, you're an idiot. They took the people's money out of the bank to bail out the banks that made bad decisions with the people's money. This is somehow called good. It's good for the economy. And yet, tourists having recreational sex is something that needs to be shut down by the hand of the government. Bring in the government. He did a crotch shot. Oh my God, look what she's doing with him on that jacuzzi floor. Oh, what the hell? Who cares? Police are cracking down on the antisocial behavior at the resort strip. This is great. You've got the government coming in to shut down what adults can do at their own party, and yet no outcry whatsoever. Zero outcry at all about the government raiding the very same people's bank accounts to bail out the banks that should have had to face the same repercussions that you and I face when we do something stupid. Okay? Somebody made a business decision with me to bring an idiot into a house that I rent, and they racked up such a high electric bill. My studio is in my house that I didn't have electricity all summer. I could have probably cashed out gold or silver if I wanted to, but that's something that I've invested in for my future. So I didn't. I went without it. And who bailed me out? Nobody bailed us out. That's who the hell bailed me out. And you know, it was between me and this person how I got roped into making a stupid enough decision to allow this person to do this. But I certainly did not get bailed out by Joe taxpayer when I did it. But it happened in Cyprus. It's happened in Greece. I don't know. Is anybody hearing me, or it just doesn't matter until it happens to your dollar? Friends, when it happens to your dollar, it's too damn late. And then brings us to the Dumdy of the day. Brought to you by Sticker Junkie. You can see right here, Sticker Junkie. You're going to get stickers that look that amazing, and you're also going to get a deal on your stickers because you're a listener. You're going to be saving money out the wazoo. First of all, you saved money on your hotel room at the Seacrest Motel. Now you're saving money on your stickers. How? By saying you listen to the correct views. Put that in on checkout and watch the deal that you get. Correct views, the correct views. I forget how it has it in there. Try it. You'll see it. You're going to save money. That's how you're going to see it. North Carolina School District recommends teachers avoid using terms boys and girls. The college fix. Now, the reason this isn't getting the Dumdy of the day is my regular listeners probably imagine that I'm, oh, Sam, you're starting to get local in the essay. You've already covered this. You're starting to lose it. No, I'm not. This is another story about people that can't tell a simple fact. So let me help you with the fact before we get into it. I know we're dealing with Dumdies here. It is the Dumdy of the day. So let me help you. If you have a penis, you are male. If you don't have a penis, you are female. And if you have both, you are hermaphrodite. Feelings. I feel like a girl when I have a penis is fine. But that doesn't make you a girl. It makes you a guy that feels like a girl. It's real simple. Real simple. Unless, of course, you're getting the Dundee of the day. Teachers and staff in North Carolina's Charlotte Mecklenburg School have been advised to utilize gender neutral descriptors. I should be deceptors. Instead of terms like boys and girls, we're going to go with general neutral deceptors, as in deception. I like that better. Schools and students are two of the recommended unbiased replacements. How about male scholars and male and female students, female scholars? How about that? How about part of knowing that a penis makes you a guy, a lack of penis makes you a girl? How hard is it? The policy is part of it. The people in Cyprus weren't having any trouble figuring it out, were they? No, you don't have to tell people in Cyprus that clearly. I couldn't pass it up, friends. Simply couldn't pass it up. But I guess if you're not in Cyprus, then you have trouble figuring this out. The policy is part of a district-wide anti-bullying program. No, you are not being bullied if somebody tells you what sex you are, even if you don't identify with it. Now, if you choose to be girly and somebody hurts you, if you choose to be masculine and you're feminine, you're a lady, I'm not in favor of harming anybody. But this idea that we have to deny simple fact to make you happy is the birds. Other recommendations include allowing students to participate in extracurricular activities and overnight field trips based on their gender identity. Yeah, that's not going to be abused at all. EAGnews.org writes that the ideas come from a presentation made to the district supporting transgender studies. There is no transgender studies. If you've got sexual issues, deal with it when you're not in school. Get over it. District officials require that students have access to the restroom changing facilities that correspond with their gender identities. Never mind the identity of the girl that doesn't want a boy in the bathroom when she has her first few periods of life. Her rights don't matter. The guy that thinks the girly man, only his rights matter. No, we're not politically correct here, are we? Any student who requests increased privacy or gender neutral single-stalled restroom or locker room access is accommodated. That's your tax dollars hard at work. Why? Because we live in a country that cannot tell whether or not someone is male or female. North Carolina, Charlotte, Mecklenburg schools, call them. Let them know you heard about it from the correct views. Let them know that that you've had it, that you're not dealing with this anymore, that you're simply sick of it. Because if you don't, friends, it's going to keep happening. You're listening to the correct views. You can donate. Look at Patreon down beneath me. You can in the description. You can donate there. You can donate at the correct views at hotmail.com, or you can just put money in nhornsby at yahoo.com on PayPal. Again, check out these stickers. Look at these. Autograph, $5 for one, $7 for both. We'll get these to you, and it helps the show. It helps keeps the electricity on, literally. Good night, friends. God bless, and thank you for